People, what up? You already know what time it is. February 1st. It's the start of Black History Month. They said we need to buff these black characters. So yeah, man, we just gonna be talking about the balance update today, bro. Y'all be sure to like, comment, sub, all that good stuff, right? So let's get straight into it. So we got Big Luke Cage, you already know, Hulkbuster, Big Body Doll, Spider-Man, Mr. Miguel, and then we have Ghost. So we got an interesting lineup. Let's go ahead and get straight into the reading. All right, let's get straight into it. All right, so the old Luke Cage, right? So they nerfed his ability before to your cards here can't have their power reduced, and what they're doing now is they're reverting it back to his old ability, saying your cards can't have their power reduced, but they just made them a little bit more expensive and gave him a couple more power, man. So before I even want to read it, let me just give you guys my opinion on it. Luke Cage was so trash after that nerf, bro. Like you could use him on Cerebro 3, but I mean, really, the thing about Luke Cage is I feel like he made the game a lot more dynamic, right? You were able to run cards like Man Thing, right? You're able to use Hazmat to a greater degree. You're able to use Typhoid Mary without just running her on like a Shuri Sauron, very boring, very basic deck, right? You're able to do a lot of cool things. You're able to counter high evolutionary the takeaway points version, right? With Abomination. Cyclops is on every variant of that. The rare Wasp, right? And I mean, it just like, it didn't really, you know, since that nerf, right? Like I said, you really only saw him on Cerebro 3, but even on that he was pretty bad. But let's go ahead and read, right? Last year we found Luke Cage was having a big impact on the metagame relative to the opportunity cost of playing with him. Giving up turn 2 to play a card that had the potential to neutralize multiple later turn plays from an entire class of card was a bit too generous, since Luke had nothing more than to be in play. We've decided to adjust Luke to be a stronger card that concentrates on one location, like armor, and learn what that might change. Since then, Luke has underperformed with that, even in the decks we thought would still play the effect happily, such as Cerebro 3. So, we're taking the other route and returning Luke effect to be global, but at a higher cost, right? So yeah, just to touch a little bit more on the Cerebro 3, man. Even if you have Luke Cage in one spot, right? Let's say your opponent's playing high evolutionary, all they have to do is play Cyclops where you didn't put Luke Cage, and they're gonna auto beat you, right? Because you got your 3 power cards, you got your other 3 power cards, and you got your weak Cerebro lane. I put Cyclops over here, you lost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad they brought him back, man. Expect some Typhoid Mary gameplay very soon, right? Very soon. Hulkbuster. I'm interested that they nerfed him, right? So they changed him from 3.5 to 2.3, right? I mean, he's a little bit cheaper, but a lot less as strong. And we're going to talk about what this means after we read. Because the strongest destroy deck was by far all about Deadpool, we also wanted to look at weakening some of the best ways to make huge Deadpools. Hulkbuster was one such card, but it's also a fun card for other strategies, like move and the occasional Kukuli brew. Since the real problem was how much power Hulkbuster was adding to Deadpool, we decided to keep it fairly efficient on the rate and just shrink the numbers down. Hopefully, this change creates some opportunity for play alongside things like Multiple Man and Werewolf by Night, while weakening Deadpool. Specifically, we want to keep Hulkbuster a solid card, right? And you know, Hulkbuster is still gonna be a solid card, but unfortunately I also think that even though they were kind of really trying to only target Deadpool, it's also gonna negatively impact, you know, your move decks, your general move deck with Multiple Man, Heimdall, right, the basic one, but also the Phoenix Force, you know, the Phoenix Force deck, where you might again, combine them with multiple man. But then you might also use it for the Human Torch, right? So I mean, it's tough. If I feel like if they just really want to target Deadpool, they could have just touched him up in some way. But I mean, Hulkbuster as a card himself is still, I mean, he's still fine. It's just like move decks are going to be a little bit weaker. But it seems that they realized that, which is why they buffed Heimdall. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about Hulkbuster. Both Hulkbuster and Luke Cage. Yeah, let's go get to this Heimdall right here, right? So in our ongoing evaluation of 6 cost cards, we think Heimdall is right for a boost. Having 8 power used to protect Heimdall from Shang-Chi, but now that Shang-Chi's threshold increased, we can likewise boost up some of these 8 power big cards for a little extra oomph. I actually mentioned this like in in the video, I think in one of the balance update videos way back. I'm like, y'all touched She-Hulk, now you got to touch Heimdall. You might have to touch Onslaught, maybe just one more point. And you definitely got to give Odin one more, I feel like, just to make sure that they can keep up with all the other six cost cards, right? So I really like this change, right? One, for the fact that since Shang-Chi got changed, I feel like all the other cards that were just underneath that should get like 1 extra power. In addition, right, this kind of offsets some of the the Hulkbuster change, right? Whereas a card like Multiple Man was low-key negatively impacted by that change. But then again, you're still going to be seeing some of the same strength that move decks had, even with the previous form of Hulkbuster, right? So I really like this change, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think of that big Heimdall. That Heimdall. Now this is a very interesting, man. I don't know if I really like this 5/9. Before I even read, I feel like 4 cost is a great cost for Miguel, because on turn 5, when you're running a move deck, right? What do you really want to do on turn 5? So let's think about it, right? You can either play, or you used to either be able to play like Multiple Man plus Hulkbuster. Maybe you want to put Vision down. Maybe you want to put Doctor Strange plus a 3 cost card down. But also, what you were also able to do, right, is you were able to play Miguel plus Ghost Spider on turn 5. Now you're not really able to do that. So I don't like the cost change right here. I feel like they could have just gave him like 2 more power, since his ability only activates 1 time. But let's go ahead and read, what they have to say, and then we could talk about it a little bit more, right? Spider-Man has been a below average card for quite a while. While never one of the worst, but also not a true contender. We're open to considering more significant adjustments, but in the interim, we've decided to experiment with a stat change. As we noted around Hercules in another update, we like to try and get some big move cards into fighting shape. 2099 represents an opportunity for us to explore the kinds of effects and stat line cards need to exist in that space, while potentially giving an underperforming card some new life, right? So it's interesting, man. Like I said, I kind of don't like that you're not able to get that turn 5 combo off with Ghost Spider and Miguel off anymore. But I mean, even just having 9 power, even if you're not able to move, you're in a situation where you're playing Spider-Man on the deck, you're not able to move any other cards. Just having that 9 power at 1 lane is still gonna be really good. On top of that, even if you're not able to move it on turn 5, you're definitely gonna be able to move it on the last turn with the buff Heimdall, right? So it's a really interesting change, man. I like I said, I kind of got mixed feelings about it, but y'all let me know what y'all think. I definitely think it's an interesting change. And then last but least, we got Ghost. So they changed her to 3 cost 5 power, and she still has the same ability. Let's read, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think this change means anything for Ghost, but I'm gonna tell you why after we read, right? Ghost has a similar story to Spider-Man. While we evaluate potential changes, We're going to take advantage of a stat improvement to learn more about the effect and its potential impact. We think it's fair to position the effect like a small drawback in the current metagame, as fixing reveal priority comes with greater risk. Most of the current strength came from Ghost being a 1-cost ongoing card, but there are other options for that in Spectrum deck today and likely the future. So I don't think this change does anything positive for Ghost. I still think nobody's gonna use her, but the reason for that is I think what the problem with Ghost is the ability. Your cards are always revealed last. Now, I mean, it's a very unique ability, right? But here's the problem. For one, there's not enough situations where you're able to benefit from Ghost's ability. I mean, I can give you one, right? The only one I can think of is if you're playing a Patriot deck, right? And you don't have any protection from Killmonger, and you want to play your Ultron on the last turn, right? So that way, if they're predicting your Ultron, they're still not able to stop you because of the Ghost, ability, right? If you throw Ghosts on that deck. At the same time, right, I feel like why not just use Invisible Woman? You know, the situations where you want your cards revealed last are so specific that you can most likely always limit that to one lane, right? Hence why we have Invisible Woman, Hela, and MODOK, right? You know, hence why we have Invisible Woman, Patriot Mystique Ultron, right? Which still make sure that you don't lose to Killmonger. So the problem is not with the cost or the power. I mean, if they make her like 0 cost 10 power, sure, she'll be a great card by the end, right? But it like I said, man, it's really the ability that's the issue, bro. And I mean, if y'all disagree, let me know. But like I said, man, I don't think Ghost is really gonna see anything as a result of this patch. But all the other cards, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how gameplay is gonna be affected by the way they changed them. I think Second Dinner, they picked some really interesting cards for this patch. And once again, man, here it is. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.